Hello everyone, it's Justine, and today I'm going to be showing one really cool card, and it's using the Amazing Paper Grace die of the month, and this is called Tiara Trifold. So as the name describes, it makes a trifold card that looks something similar to this. Now this is just the base, it's not decorated, but I did just want to walk through and show you how I made the pieces that I'm going to use for my project today. So I also will be using products from the Glimmer of the Month from May. This is the Stitched Glimmer Butterflies. I'm going to be using this big butterfly die and then this inner piece that has the stitched area, and I won't be using these. I will be using the body, the straight body. There's also a curved body for the butterfly that's landed, and I also will be using this antenna piece. Now I don't have my glimmer machine with me right now, so I won't be glimmering on the butterfly. I just used it to die cut out a really beautiful butterfly. So with that being said, I'm going to put this to the side so we have lots of room to craft, because this trifold needs a little bit of room. Now to make this piece, you simply use this main frame and this cutout, and that makes this very intricate tiara cutout on the top. If you wanted it to be solid, you could simply just take this piece off. Right now I have it taped in with some craft tape because I'm going to be using this in just a minute or two here. Next, I'd like to speak about this pair of dies here. Now I just tested it out of what it would look like if you used each one individually. So if you were to die cut this out using just this die, it creates this piece, which you're thinking, well, okay, why would anyone want that? Well, I'm going to be using this in my card to be the portion where the sender of the card will write their sentiment. So this is a really neat option that they give you, these two dies separately, because you can make this plain piece. Additionally, you can make this gable kind of look here just with this piece. So if you're looking for that design, perhaps on maybe the front or back, you could do that. Or if you wanted to put these two pieces together, I will show you what that looks like. If you were to die cut these two out together, it would make this piece that not only cuts around the edge, but cuts out the gables in between. With that being said, we will put those off to the side and move to the other pieces. Now it comes with 4 pieces of flower layers, and what the inspiration kit says to do is to layer them up such as this. And that's just taking the big, medium, small, and smallest and layering them up. I changed up the colors with white and gold, white and gold. Then you have 2 sentiments that come with this. One says hello and one says there. And these are the 2 cutting dies for that. Then there is this little corner wreath. Looks like this. And this is meant for kind of framing the areas on your card. And this piece here, I haven't quite figured out the best use for it. I believe it's meant for the edges because it fits very nicely here and it doesn't quite fit here. I could be totally off, but I'm not sure, and I believe that there's this closure, but again, I have not quite figured it out, and I've spent a little bit of my brain time here trying to figure this piece out, and I'm sure it's something simple that I'm just not thinking of, but I'd love to figure it out and use it in the future. Bear with me. All right, so with all of those pieces explained, I will just go ahead and show you how to make this trifold base. And I think that is so neat how it pops up like this. Something else that I thought of, I'm just going to take my my magnetic thing from Spellbinders here and just pick up my dies. Since there are these little flower pieces, I would hate to lose anything, so bear with me. And I'll just put that off to the side. Now, something else that I was thinking of when I was just looking at this trifold design is that it would be very neat to make something like this trifold action, and put 3 different pictures on the trifold and have it be kind of like a statement piece, using this on one end and taking another piece and putting it on the other side. I think that that would be very pretty. Here's one of my dad. It's kind of silly, but you could take that and put that kind of together. It was one of my good friend and her husband on her wedding day. Oh boy, what other pictures do I have here? I don't have really too many other things, but we'll just pretend that this is a nice other picture. So like I said, you could make some kind of piece where you have your pictures on. I just think that's really neat. So shout out to my dad and my friend and her dear husband for making the video. All right. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and move on to creating this piece. Now, it says that you need a 6 by 12 piece of paper to start. So that is what I have here. And I'm going to take this large frame die here, and you'll notice that this side that's going to go down, so it'll be on this side, does not cut. And that is for a very good reason. And you're going to see that if this side were to cut when I go to the second panel, if that were to cut, it would just break. So it's like that for a reason. It does not cut on this left side here, and on the right side it gives a perforation, and that just allows the trifold to bend. I would like to mention that if you wanted to make just a A2 size card with this on the front, that would look really beautiful as well. So if the trifold is a little too intimidating for you, or if it's really not your style, I still would recommend this die because it is so beautiful, and it comes with really pretty gables and flowers. So just thought I'd mention that for you. Now, to start this off, I'm going to use these 2 pieces, like I said, and I'm going to start on the very left side of my paper. I'm going to line up the corner of my paper to the corner of this die down here. Then I will just ensure that this bottom line is lined up with the bottom of this paper. So basically, you're putting the die kind of butted up into this corner. Then with a little bit of craft tape, I'm just going to secure it down. Not too much, just a little, so it doesn't wiggle in my machine. Now, I've done this before to make this card, and I found that this extra piece in my specific machine tends to make it slip around. So what I'm also going to do before I die cut this is I'm going to just trim my paper just a little bit. Awesome. Like I said, I'm going to kind of butt it up into this corner and just press down on my craft tape, and I'm going to run it through my die cutting machine for the first time. All right, here's a look at what it looks like after the first round of die cutting. So I will just release my craft tape kind of carefully, and I will take my tool-in-one, this is from Spellbinders as well, just to poke out the intricate top area of the tiara part. And it really does look like a tiara. Tiara, tiara, tomato, tomato. That's what I say. Anyway, next I'm going to line up my die for the second round of die cutting. So I will take my plate And now this is the tricky part. If you don't put this in the right spot, 12 inches won't be long enough. So it's very important for the second one here that you line up the die with the bottom edge here with the paper, and this perforated line needs to be on the inside of this die. If you put it on the outside, it takes up too much of the space. And remember that this is a non-cutting line. So it has to be on the left side of the perforation. So I'm going to put it into place and secure it. Again, it's important to make sure that this is straight on the bottom and lined up nicely here as well. So I'm going to put it on my die cutting machine and we will see what it looks like at the end. All right, here's round 2 of what it looks like. Looks like everything worked out perfectly. Hooray. Again, I'm just going to pop out these extra pieces. I really do like this tool-in-one. I think that if it had a reverse tweezers, I think it would probably be my favorite tool. All right. Now for the last piece, it's very important again to put the perforated edge in the inside of the die, like this. All right, now that I have the last part all finished, this top part came right off, so I will just put that to the side. I could use it for making flowers or anything tiny in the future. I'm going to just put my die off to the side, pop out the rest of the tiara part, and then I'm going to give my desk a little bit of a clean off because there are little die cuts kind of all over here. Now I am left with this piece, which will be my card base. Now there are 3 distinct panel areas. This will be the front, the middle, and the back, like this. So for the front, I wanted to use the big butterfly to be kind of my main attraction for the front, and I wanted to use this gold gabled die. So I'm going to work from the paper up. So to put this on, I will be using my Barely Art liquid adhesive, and I will first start with the edge. Then I will perhaps focus on some of the middle areas that have space for glue to go onto. If you aren't familiar with the Spellbinders clubs, they do have a monthly subscription that you receive items such as this, and it's very fun to see what they come out with every month. And if you're a member, you receive one of these every month, and they have other products like stamp sets, card kits. They have other dies. This APG die, the Amazing Paper Grace is what APG stands for, is typically a more intricate die like this. Something perhaps a little more mature or sophisticated looking. So I really do think that these are so worth the money, especially if you consider the total package. You save probably about 50 to 60% on the items if you receive the total package. So if you're interested in trying something, maybe just see what you're used to. If you're more of a stamp person, try this stamp. If you're more of a die person, try the smaller large die. Or if you prefer some of the more elegant looking cards, maybe try the Amazing Paper Grace die, like this. If you're a glimmer person, maybe try the glimmer. I know that the card kits are very popular as well, especially for people who like to have a lot of cards on hand or people who donate cards to different organizations. So the card kit of the month is an excellent deal, even if you just receive the card kit and you don't do the total package. You definitely receive about $17.50 off if you are a monthly subscriber, rather than buying the kit individually, not as a monthly subscriber. So it's definitely worth the value. All right, now that I have those two gables on, I do have to kind of hold it down for just a second here because this gold mirrored cardstock from Spellbinders is so beautiful, but it is a little bit slippery with that liquid glue. So I just want to make sure that it's all down. Then I will go ahead and put in my center panel. Again, this is where I have envisioned the sender to write their message to the recipient. So if this had gabled die cuts, I think it would be a little bit more difficult to write on. Therefore, I chose to do just a clean and simple white die cut. But again, I think it is so smart that they gave you these two dies here to make different things. You can make the gables and the cutout. You can make the cutout. If you wanted just the gables, you could also do that. So I think that's just neat. Also, if you're doing this, I recommend folding it at the end, because if you were working on it folded, it can lead to things not quite lining up. Next, we're going to put down these little leafy areas. I'm going to put this on the back panel. I will use liquid glue because it's a little bit of a delicate leaf and stem, and if I were to use double-sided tape, I think that it would perhaps fall off. This piece is definitely a wow card. It's not something that you would just send to anyone at all. It would be something that you would send to someone very special. I'm not too concerned about gluing down this area that kind of looks like a heart up here, because my plan is to put the flower cluster on it, and with the glue that's on there, it will hold down the fort, if you will. I wonder where that saying came from. It's probably something in history. Oh, fun, that just popped off. Okay. Perhaps I needed to hold that down a little bit more. You're not crafting if you don't get glue or ink on your fingers somewhere. Now, to make these little flowers, I did assemble 4 of the 5 of them, but I wanted to show one on camera. Again, I'm using my liquid glue, just putting some in the center, and I'm actually going to put some on all of the pieces that need it. This top piece does not need any glue. With my reverse tweezers, I will layer those up. Now, you could line the petals up, but for my other flowers, I chose to offset the petals to be in between the other ones. So I will make this flower match its friends and do that. So you can see the petal is in between each layer, just like that. So it's a pretty quick assembly for these flowers. So to finish off my back panel, I will just add a blob of glue and place my flowers down right on that blob, give it a press, and move on to the next section. Now, someone might think, well, this area is kind of open. You could take one of the word dies and put that in the center here. That would make a very beautiful front as well. You could say hello there. You could die cut these out in gold. There's so many things you could do. I'm choosing to leave this part just as it is because I think that that gold mirrored cardstock really just speaks for itself, and it doesn't need anything in the middle on the back, since the showstopper on this piece will be that main butterfly on the front. I'm not sure why my brain decided to work right to left and back to front, but that's how we're doing it today. I think I will put that there as well. Another blob of glue, and I will place the flower on. I don't want it too close to the edge, since this will be an edge piece. I really should have moved this one over just a little, because when I fold this, I don't want this flower piece to be poking out. Luckily, I was able to scooch it over. All right, now I'm going to move on to my front panel. That is this beautiful butterfly. I'm going to put it at an angle and have these flowers kind of resting in the corners. Again, I don't want it too close to the edge because I don't want them to interfere or poke out. If that's the look you're going for, go you. Not me today. All right, now I'm going to put it kind of slanted here. So I'm going to start with the butterfly. I don't want its wings to be too terribly glued down. I think I'm just going to put the glue on where the body is for right now. And I don't think I'll be too shy about how much glue I use. Not too much, but enough. Okay. Now there's that gable there, so my butterfly thorax, if you will, the back piece is kind of tipped down and the head is tipped down because of the gable, but it won't even matter because the body of the butterfly will cover that up. Now I consider doing some stitching on this because I love stitching, but I decided that it didn't even need the stitching because of all of the intricate little dots. The card to me spoke for itself. Then I will put on the left top wing like that. And the bottom, I'm just going to make sure that that lines up. Yes, that is the bottom right. The bottom right and the bottom left are a little different since they nest into the main butterfly wing. So much glue on my hands. Going to put a dot of glue for my antennae. Alright, I know that I said that the butterfly speaks for itself and that I wasn't going to use the other pieces of the wings, but I do think that it is just a lot of white. So I'm going to pull out that glimmer set again, and I'm going to add some gold on the wings, and I think that it would be fine if I didn't, but I really think that that would give the wow factor to this project. So let me cut those out really quickly and I'll be back to assemble them. All right, now that I have those butterfly pieces basically laid out, I did want to just mention, if you were going to do this, I would die cut out this white piece down here and have it be something like this, and then you would inlay the gold into it. I think that that would be a little easier. All right, now that I've finished gluing the gold onto the butterfly, I did just want to finish off my card here with a bit of some shimmer glittery pen. So I'm going to add that to just kind of lightly all over my butterfly's wings and to the body of my butterfly. And I also wanted to add a little bit of embellishments. Now, I think that I really think that embellishments can kind of take your card from if you were thinking like school terms, from like a B plus to, or a B minus to an A plus, because they just make everything stand out just that much better. And I am going to use these little pearls here that are not sticky yet. And I bought these on Amazon. If you're interested in buying them, if you just search pearl embellishments online, you will find them probably pretty quickly. And I really want to load up this card with all the pearls that I can fit on the card without it looking too much. I don't know, sometimes I have the too much gene and it just kind of takes over. So here goes nothing. Now there are tons of embellishments. If you prefer rhinestones, you could put a rhinestone on here. If you prefer paper embellishments, you could punch out little circles, hearts, stars, anything that you really want. I really just like using the liquid adhesive with these because I know it will dry clear. So if there are some of these that have a little bit of glue popping out on the sides, it really doesn't matter because it will dry clear. All right, I'm also going to put a pearl on each flower, and I'm going to put a pearl on my butterfly to act as the head of the butterfly. I should probably use a bigger one since it's the head. Oh, for cute. Oh my gosh. Just to close up these holes here on the butterfly where a stitched area might be, I'm going to take 4 kind of small medium size gems here and put those on. No, I don't want to use the big ones. I think I'll use the really, really tiny ones actually. And that would be kind of like a little covering. How'd you get over there? There we go. I like that. All right, now I will go ahead and add in gems on the top of the middle panel and the back panel and to my flowers as well. If you've enjoyed today's video, please go ahead and hit the like button. And if you're interested in seeing more videos from me in the future, please subscribe. That's the best way to be aware of any videos that I post in the future. I typically post a lot of the subscription items, things from Spellbinders, things from Pink and Maine. So I have quite a few things on my channel. So if you're interested, go ahead and subscribe. Now I want to make my project this trifold. I am finished with everything and now I just have to gently bend my project just a little and give it a little pinch on the edges that are perforated, just a little. And that's what makes the trifold. It's very, very simple pinching method at the end to make that flat piece become the trifold. Now, if it was going into an envelope, again, it would have to be pushed quite a bit flatter, but for right now, I'm going to keep it nice and open. Thank you so much for watching. If you've come all the way to the end with me, thank you. And if you would like to leave a comment or have any questions, please go ahead and leave those in the comments below and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. So thank you so much for sticking around with me and watching me craft using the Amazing Paper Grace Die of the Month from July 2022 from Spellbinders. Bye!